Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, my students. Today we will discuss the part 2, the second part of the digestive system. It's about the illnesses that relate to our digestive system. So, illness, penyakit-penyakit yang relate, yang berhubungan dengan digestive system. The first illness that we will discuss is the gastritis. In bahasa gastritis ya. Or we can say it radang lambung. What is the gastritis? Gastritis is the swelling of the lining of the stomach. So, the lining of the stomach, tepian, pinggirnya stomach, dia swollen, membengkak. What makes it happen, teacher? The first, it is caused by bacterial infections, akibat infeksi bakteri. We call the bacteria is Helicobacter pylori. Jadi, nama bakterinya Helicobacter pylori. And then the second cause is taking too much alcohol. And then the third cause it's because of medicine such as aspirin. Jadi ada 3 cause yang menyebabkan gastritis, bacteria, and then alcohol, and then medicine such as aspirin. Taking too much, ya, terlalu banyak medicine and alcohol, and also the bacterial infection. This is make gastritis or radang lambung. What are the symptoms of gastritis? Apa symptom? Symptom it's mean gejala. Jadi orang yang kena gastritis, they can experience some symptoms such as stomach pain, perutnya sakit, and then feeling of fullness, kekenyangan, feel fullness ya, berasa kenyang terus, and then burping, sendawa and passing gas, kentut, loss of appetite, kehilangan nafsu makan, and also vomiting, muntah ya. So these are the symptoms of gastritis. Orang yang kena gastritis biasanya mereka experience mengalami stomach pain, feeling of fullness, burping, and then passing gas, loss of appetite, kehilangan nafsu makan, and then vomiting, muntah. This is the symptoms of gastritis. You can see the picture of gastritis in your book, page 40. Okay, look at this. I sign it. Okay, this is the stomach lining that affected by gastritis. It is swollen, jadi dia bengkak. In normal you can see this. Jadi normalnya kayak gini. Ya, normalnya. This is the normal lining of stomach, but when it got gastritis, it will swollen like this. You can see the picture clear in page 40. This is that happened when we got gastritis. And then the next illness is peptic ulcer. Peptic ulcer, or in bahasa tukak lambung. This is the second illness that happened to our digestive system. What are peptic ulcer, teacher? What is peptic ulcer? It's the sore that form in the lining of the stomach. Jadi ada sores, ada luka that form in the lining of the stomach. Ya, ada luka di lining of stomach. If gastritis, it's only the swelling. Kalau gastritis itu swelling, bengkak saja. But if the peptic ulcers, there is sores, ada lukanya in the lining of the stomach. What are the symptoms? Gejalanya apa saja? Stomachache and pain, and then bloating, kembung, berasa kembung, loss of appetite and weight, kehilangan nafsu makan dan berat badan, nausea and vomiting, mual dan muntah, and then dark and bloody stools. Jadi kotorannya berwarna gelap dan bloody, berdarah. This is the symptoms that happen when people get peptic ulcers, or in bahasa tukak lambung. What are the cause, teacher? The cause almost same like the gastritis. Jadi penyebabnya itu hampir sama dengan gastritis. There are bacterial infections, Helicobacter pylori, and then taking too much alcohol, and also taking too much aspirin. So the cause of peptic ulcer almost same like the cause of gastritis. Okay, you can see this, the pictures of peptic ulcers. You can see the ulcers. This is ya. Jadi ada ini, ada tukak lambung, lambungnya sores, getting sores, ada lukanya. Okay. Most peptic ulcers can heal with the proper treatment. Jadi biasanya bisa sembuh dia dengan proper treatment, but you have to be careful. Sometimes we doesn't care about it. We don't care. Sometimes we don't care about this illness. Jadi kadang-kadang orang yang kena peptic ulcer dibiarin aja. If we leave it, kalau dibiarin and it untreated, what happen, teacher? It will getting worse. Jadi kadang-kadang orang itu perutnya kembung dibiarkan, and then mual dibiarkan, tidak peduli. What happened, teacher? It will getting worse. Semakin lama, if it is getting worse over time, it will then become difficult for food to pass out our digestive system. Jadi pada akhirnya kita tidak akan bisa mencerna makanan. Eat, keluar lagi, makan, keluar lagi. So it will getting worse if you left the peptic ulcers untreated. Sangat berbahaya ya. So you have to find the proper treatment, harus diobati. This is that happen to the second illness, peptic ulcer, or in bahasa tukak lambung. The next illness is reflux disease. Reflux disease. Sometimes people say asam lambung, mah ya. Reflux disease. Condition in which the content of the stomach, isi dari stomach. Jadi you can imagine if the food have come to the stomach, it will soft enough ya. Jadi sudah cukup lembut makanan itu, it move backward in the gullet, kembali lagi ke gullet. Makanan yang sudah dicerna and then come to the stomach, it move backward to the gullet, kembali lagi ke gulletnya. So this is that we call reflux disease, asam lambung, the content of the stomach backward to the gullet. What, teacher, that make the reflux disease? Kenapa kok bisa reflux disease? The first, it caused by smoking, and then diet high in fat, and then too much alcohol, and then caffeine, and then stress. So stress itu bisa meningkatkan asam lambung, terlalu banyak alkohol dan kafein. Sometimes kafein ini biasanya ada di kopi ya. Jadi tidak boleh terlalu banyak. And then smoking of course, and then diet high in fat. Diet tinggi lemak. Biasanya orang-orang ini diet untuk menghindari lemak, tapi ini diet justru dia high in fat. Untuk apa, teacher? Diet high in fat it is happen, biasanya terjadi atau it is dilakukan by people that want to decrease the amounts of carbohydrate in the body ya. Jadi orang yang ingin mengurangi kadar glucose ya, glucose, jadi kadar gula dari carbohydrate in the body. We know that carbohydrate ada dua kan, the nutrient in the body that has function to give our body energy. Ada karbohidrat dan ada lemak. So carbohydrate and fat, they give us energy. So people that want to change carbohydrate, they use fat to get the energy. Jadi ada orang mau menghindari karbohidrat, menghindari glucose, menghindari gula, mereka menggunakan fat to get energy. Nah, jadi diet high in fat itu biasanya done by the people that got diabetes, people yang kena kencing manis. Sometimes this is one of ways, salah satu caranya mereka untuk mengurangi kadar gula, they change the carbohydrate with the fat. Jadi akibatnya apa? Mereka diet tapi pakai fat, pakai lemak, to change the carbohydrate to get the energy, tapi tidak pakai karbohidrat. This is that happen. But it have negative effect. Ternyata diet high in fat itu punya efek negatif. What are, teacher? Reflux disease. Apa itu reflux disease? Ternyata bisa asam lambung. Jadi sometimes we got the side effect. Ada efek samping mesti dari tiap kita melakukan sesuatu, tiap pengobatan itu biasanya ada efek sampingnya. So diet high in fat, maybe it can decrease the amounts of glucose for the people that get diabetic. Untuk orang yang kena kencing manis mungkin bisa ngurangin dia kadar glukosnya, kadar gula, because they change the carbohydrate into fat. but it also give negative effects such as reflux disease. Jadi ada efek sampingnya, bisa asam lambungnya meningkat, ya, bisa kena MAH. And then what are the symptoms? Apa gejala-gejalanya people that get reflux disease? The first, heartburn. Jadi when you feel your heartburn, kalau kalian rasanya dada itu panas, this is one of the symptom. And then the second symptom is regurgitation. Regurgitation, it's mean food being brought up again into the mouth. Jadi food yang sudah masuk, sudah dicerna, ada di stomach, they back out, kembali lagi. They back up again into the mouth, kembali lagi ke mulut. This is called regurgitation. And then nausea and then vomit, mual dan muntah. Difficult to swallow, susah telan. Pain when swallow, sakit kalau menelan. And then sore throat and then also cough, sakit tenggorokan dan batuk. This is that happen when people got reflux disease. Jadi tanda-tanda kamu kena MAH, the symptom heartburn, regurgitations, nausea and vomit, difficult and pain when swallowing, and then sore throat and also cough. You can see the picture in your book, page 42. Okay. The first symptom, look at here. Jadi terasa terbakar, heartburn, terasa terbakar ya di dada kita itu, dadanya panas, terasa terbakar. This is the first symptom. And then you can see here, this is the stomach content, that we call regurgitations. Jadi isinya lambung, berarti ini makanan yang sudah halus ya. The stomach content, it is keluar lagi, broke up ya. Jadi keluar lagi, this is the stomach content. Jadi dia keluar lagi ke atas lagi, come to the mouth. Why, teacher? Because the muscles here open. Jadi di sini tuh ada muscle, ada otot ya, that join the gullet and the stomach. Dia itu menghubungkan gullet dan stomach. It is usually closed. Biasanya dia tertutup, but because of these conditions, the stomach, this is the stomach content will broke out. Jadi because of the muscle opens. Jadi muscle yang di sini terbuka. Akibatnya apa? The content of the stomach will come to the gullet. Masuk lagi ke kerongkongan, kembali lagi ke kerongkongan. This is called reflux condition. Look at this. This is the muscle close. Biasanya tertutup begini. Tapi yang terjadi apa? When people get reflux disease, the muscle open. You can see the clear picture in your book, page 42. Because of the muscle open, so the content in the stomach come to the gullet, broke up. Jadi kembali lagi to the gullet and to the mouth. This is reflux disease. And then the next illness, this is the last illness that we will discuss today, is irritable bowel syndrome. Irritable bowel syndrome is iritasi usus ya. What is irritable bowel syndrome? It is illness that affect the large intestine. Jadi penyakit yang mempengaruhi large intestines, usus besar. Persons that get irritable bowel syndrome, dia biasanya experience diarrhea and constipation. Biasanya kalau nggak diare, dia konstipasi ya, sembelit. Jadi kalau nggak diare, dia sembelit. Ini berarti orang ini kena irritable bowel syndrome, iritasi usus. What is the cause, teacher? Apa sih, teacher, penyebab irritable bowel syndrome? The first here, infections of digestive tract. Jadi memang ada infeksi di sistem pencernaannya. And then the common cause, gejala yang paling umum that often happen is the food poisons because of bacteria and virus. Jadi yang paling umum yang sering dialami people that got irritable bowel syndrome, it is caused by food poisons. Jadi memang di makanannya itu ada bakteri dan ada virus, suka jajan sembarangan. This is can cause the irritable bowel syndromes. Akibatnya apa nanti? People can get diarrhea and constipation or constipation. Kalau nggak diare ya sembelit. This is caused by food poisons. Look at the picture. These are the examples of bacteria that can cause irritable bowel syndrome. There are Staphylococcus aerus, and then E. coli, Escherichia coli, and then Salmonella. This is the examples of bacteria that can cause the irritable bowel syndrome. We have to avoid them, harus dihindari by not eating food poisons. Jadi tidak boleh jajan sembarangan. Okay, that's all for today, my students, about the illness that relate to our digestive system. After this, I will send you the task. You have to do it. Thank you for today. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.